Okay, Mom. Welcome back, baby.
Okay.
Guys, you gotta give me new ways to like welcome you back.
I don't usually do the welcomes. It's usually you. So yeah, give her some new,
Adab.
give her some new material.
Yeah, give me some.
She's better at the welcome. Feel like I'm better at the ending.
Yeah.
Like, okay, all right, see you. We'll see you next time. We'll see you next time.
Listen, Hina's ready to drive back all the way to no man's land.
I live so far, guys. You don't even want to know. Okay. But you gotta put the effort in.
Yeah.
When you want to be successful, you gotta put the effort in.
Facts. But Hina does not want to drive out there at midnight.
I know.
That's why she rushes.
It's scary. It's
All
scary. Okay, so I know last time we ended our conversation on a topic that was like super. I felt like it was important.
Okay.
You asked me a question. And I'm paraphrasing here. It was something along the lines of like, what's something like traumatic that you've kind of held on to, something like that, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And my answer to that was, or like what's like an issue that you've always felt like you've had, something that you're very sensitive about, something that you felt like you struggled with. And I said, I think it was weight.
Got it.
So I wanted to talk a lot about that because I think there's a lot of people that can relate to that. I personally know so many people that have gone through similar things. And I think you've also talked about that in the past too. So let's talk about it, girl.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, so for those of you who have known me for a while, maybe from like whatever, middle school, high school, whatever, I was actually always a bigger girl.
Yeah.
Okay. I was always overweight, but I think because I was a little bit taller, I'm also like a taller individual. I'm 5'8", like tall-ish. People couldn't really tell.
Yeah.
But also people could tell I was overweight, and people would kind of like dance around it or whatever. But it stuck with me for a while.
Yeah.
And then I went to university. And it was my first year, and I gained more weight when I was in university. And you know, the freshman 15 and all.
Do you feel like it's because you had like, I don't know, was it just the university blues, or like what do you think it was related to?
Everything.
Okay.
I was so depressed in my first year at university. I didn't know anyone. I couldn't figure the campus out. I didn't understand why nobody forced me to go to class.
Yeah.
I didn't understand their grading scheme. You go from a class of like 25, 30 kids where the teacher individually knows you for a number of years to a like classroom of 300, 400. You're just a student number. The professor doesn't give a shit about you. And I gained so much weight because I had so much access to like food outside.
For sure.
And you would be on campus and you'd be hungry. So you're like,
all the time.
Yeah. Let's grab this and let's get this. And the food options are so great. And like growing up, I'm sure a lot of people know this, children of immigrants, we didn't eat out a lot.
That's so true, girl.
My mom made everything at home.
Yeah.
From scratch. She used to even make her own yogurt.
Same with my mom. Okay, but that is the coolest thing ever.
It is the coolest thing.
It's the coolest thing ever.
I remember growing up, I'd be like, why are all these like yogurt containers in all these dark, you know, where all my kapde are hidden in the back? There's like a day
in the oven.
And
The yogurt is fermenting.
She was like, we never, samosa ghar pe, roti ghar pe, everything, naan ghar pe banana. We never ate out.
Girl, McDonald's was like a luxury, okay?
McDonald's who? It was about those Al Safa burgers. Okay.
Oh my god, I'm dying.
We just didn't, like my mom always made everything at home.
Yeah.
And so when I went to university, I was like, oh my god, onion rings and fries and whatever.
Then you binge. Oh
my god, all the stuff that I wanted as a kid, I just ate all the time, right? On campus or whatever. I gained so much weight. By the end of my first year, I was extremely depressed.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to buy any new clothes. My old clothes didn't fit me. I was so uncomfortable. I was also like not a physical person. So like
an active person.
Individual. That's the word I'm looking for. And so I just, by the end of my first year, I realized I have to make the difference. If I don't make the change, then nothing is going to happen.
Yeah, totally.
Nobody can come and shred this weight off of me.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And I had a lot of toxic aunties in my life who literally looked at me, Hina, and they would be like, you're not going to get married if you don't lose weight. Straight to my face.
I'm not even going to pretend that I'm shocked because this is every brown girl's life.
Every brown
girl's life. Every desi girl with the toxic
Yeah,
aunties.
you're too
With
skinny.
no filter.
You're too fat. You're wearing glasses.
never
You're too
good
dark.
enough.
Your hair's too long. Your hair's too
Facts, girl.
short. You have no sense of style.
Oh
you
my
don't speak Urdu.
God.
The list goes on and on and on.
Really does. It really does.
So, anyways, it just stuck with me a lot, and I know that sometimes I'm like, I shouldn't really have taken what they said or whatever, but it did push me and motivate me to lose a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you something. Your girl, I could not even walk. Okay, walking, I would be out of breath. Climbing up the stairs, I was out of breath.
Because we're not used to like physically active lifestyle.
Exactly. We had one treadmill in the basement that nobody ever used. It just collected dust.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna start from there.
Yeah.
And I started from there. I had no weights. I had no fitness clothes. Guys, sometimes I would be on the treadmill in my shalwar kameez.
And your sneakers.
I was such an auntie. I was doing sad.
Sad is the only form of exercise, okay? Like you go outside, you're like, look at that lawn. Yep, really good thought. These Italians, they know how to garden. Okay, it's always about like the gardening.
It's always.
And the sad is like at the pace of a turtle. Okay, you're not getting any physical activity.
That was me. I was just doing sad in my basement, like a sad little auntie, okay? And then I finally like gained some momentum and I figured out, okay, this works for me. I didn't have weights, so I would use laundry detergent, like the really big ones, and I would just try and like use that as weights.
Oh my god,
Girl, I'm telling you.
this is.
I know there's somebody out there who's done this. Listen, I got you.
You know what?
It works.
You know, I'm sure it worked, but kudos to you for even trying to like educate yourself in that when we did not have that education. And that's on facts. None
Yeah.
of us had that education.
Yeah.
Right? So like
And then it just
whatever worked.
Yeah, exactly. And then it went to my diet, and I had to
Yeah.
be really mindful because honestly, my mom makes incredible food.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was so hard for me like not to eat her food.
Yeah.
But I started slowly. I started cutting out chawal, rice, roti, pasta,
But did
breads.
your mom also say like, stop, roti is healthy for you.
100%.
Eating roti.
100%.
ताकत मिलती है ताकत.
She's like, तुम्हारा दिमाग बनेगा. Eat your roti. What else are you gonna eat? How are you
Yeah.
eating full?
Yeah,
Her
that's so
concept is
true.
if you don't eat roti or chawal, then you're not full.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Like all our moms.
Like all our moms.
Yeah.
And then Ramzan came, okay? And I took my roses so seriously.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is my way to lose weight and nobody can say anything.
Yeah.
And then I was like, my mouth is gonna be shut.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be snacking. I'm not gonna be craving
Yeah.
anything because
Yeah.
I'm fasting.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that month changed my life.
Really?
Yeah. And I lost so much weight. And when I would open my rosa, I wouldn't eat anything fried.
Oh my-
And I remember that time, it was during the summer, and
Yeah.
all I would have was like watermelon. I was obsessed with it, and it just hydrated me. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And then I lost 45 pounds. It was amazing. It was amazing.
The new diet. It's called the watermelon diet.
Watermelon. Watermelons should be your best friend if you're on a diet.
Okay, but like, okay, to what you're saying, right? That you did all this and all that stuff happened. Do you feel like the way you did it was healthy though?
No.
Okay. Because I just wanted to say that, like, even though I commend you for recognizing, right?
Yeah.
I still feel like, I think one of the reasons that it pushed you to do it was because other people were passing judgment on you.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't like, and then you kind of, you're doing it because, yeah, you want to feel better about yourself, but it's also coming from like a toxic place of like, no, but like, I also don't want other people to say things about me because I am not beautiful enough if I am the size that I am.
Yep.
Right?
It all comes back to social standards and people
sure,
pleasing.
for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
What is society deeming on us that this is what we consider beautiful?
Yeah,
Right?
totally.
And if you don't fall into that category, then you are not. And you're not going to get married, or you're not going to
Yeah.
attract people, or
Totally.
you're not going to be successful, or, you know, it's all of that. So no, my weight loss journey was not healthy.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, with all of that, I do carry a lot of baggage from my past.
Totally.
And I can outright say I don't have a healthy relationship with food.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I binge eat.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't eat at all.
Yeah.
Sometimes I starve myself. Sometimes I just go to bed hungry. Sometimes I will just eat extremely unhealthy
Yeah.
for a long period of time. I step on scales and I look at the number and I'm mortified.
Yeah.
And I will buy sizes for clothing that I think I have to buy size up.
Yeah.
And then I purchase it and it doesn't look good on me. And then I feel worse about myself. It is a battle.
Rooted girl.
It is a
hard.
battle. And I'm telling you, I do not have the answer. I don't have a solution. I just take it day by day.
No, but I think you also have to give yourself credit because first of all, sharing that side, being vulnerable and sharing that side is hard because you're admitting that like you struggle with something. But I also think that like it's, you know, you're trying your best, you know? And so I think that just the fact that you acknowledge and then you're kind of like, okay, well, I'm trying to figure it out, you know, and I'm taking it day by day is a big step. Because some people, what they would say is like, this is just how it is and I'm just going to keep starving myself because it works. Right. And I think a lot of people that go through something similar do feel that way. Like if I starve myself, it'll work. Because that's what they say, like be in a caloric deficit, but then a caloric deficit to like someone who hasn't gone through that is like, okay, I can still eat food and be in a caloric deficit. But for someone that has gone through that, caloric deficit means I don't want to eat because that's the easiest way to do it. You know what I mean? So God, that's hard.
Yeah.
So do you feel like, sorry to interrupt, but like, do you feel like when you were pregnant that was one of your fears of gaining weight? Because that girl, for me, it was like new fear unlocked. Like I was like, man, I can't do it.
It was.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be pregnant. I'm going to get so big.
Yeah.
And something about each of my pregnancy is I could not, for the life of me, control the weight that I gained.
Yeah.
No, even if I ate super clean, I didn't do whatever. And I followed up whatever. And I was, even though like during my pregnancy, I did enjoy myself wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
But I am telling you right now, I gained weight in places
Girl, I know.
that I did not think I could gain
Me
weight.
too, girl. Me too.
And I was
Brutal.
And it sucks because I feel like I never appreciated my body or that time in my life because I stopped taking pictures. And after I gave birth, I stopped taking pictures and I just have pictures of my kids and I want to look back now and be like, oh, maybe I have a nice picture of whatever. And I have no pictures of myself.
Aruj, I'm the same, okay? I am the exact same. It's like it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard to feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
And I know that there's like all this stuff about like love yourself, love your body, you know? And like, you know, when they say things like, you earned your stripes, and I'm just like, I didn't want to earn the stripes. Honestly, I was fine without them. And like they do not bring me any sense of joy. Like I don't look at them and say like, my stretch marks, they show me that I get
They're your battle wounds.
I'm like, I've never felt that till this day.
Yeah.
Okay, so stop lying to yourselves, okay? I mean, if you have that positivity, good for you. But like, I don't, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You need to always, you know what it is? I look back now, I am like 5 years in being a mom, and I just look back on it and I'm like, you know what? It wasn't a good time in my life.
Yeah.
I went through hardships. It was all part of that postpartum journey we've discussed. And it's okay.
It is okay.
I did not like being pregnant. I am gonna tell you right now. I did not like being pregnant.
Me either, okay? You know, like the moms that are like, this is the most beautiful experience ever. And I'm just like, either y'all are lying, okay?
They're lying.
Either y'all are lying or y'all aren't human. Like you're something else. You're a different breed. You're a different species. Because for me, when I was pregnant, I was miserable. Okay. With Emma, it's not that I had like major nausea. I was fine with her. With Asher, girl, I was throwing up for like the first 6 months. I felt disgusting. I remember sitting on the stairs and crying because I couldn't stop throwing up. Nothing looked good. And the diet was McDonald's poutine. Like that was the diet. You eat whatever, sour Skittles, like anything that goes down. And it was a horrible time. I hated it. I hated being pregnant. I'm not saying this in a negative way that like it's a blessing. It is 100% a blessing.
Yes.
We are very lucky. But to that, I can also say that I'm allowed to feel like I didn't enjoy it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Let's just be real. Not everyone enjoys it.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I do have to say, I think my sister, she is like, actually, I thought it was great. Like, I was great. And I was just like, good for you.
Yeah.
You are the unicorn. And I can't relate. I can't relate.
So with my first pregnancy, again, we're not saying it's a blessing. We have kids.
is,
We
for
were able to
sure.
get pregnant. There are a lot of people who are struggling in this journey. And like all hearts out to you guys, because we know that is
Yeah.
also a different part that I cannot relate to.
Yes,
I cannot relate to that,
totally.
But when I got pregnant, extreme nausea.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't even, at one point I stopped driving the car,
my God.
and I had to be like passenger princess, but I was like passenger princess vomiting.
Oh God.
It was horrible, okay? Like, I remember at one point I was driving somewhere and I pulled over in a street,
Grow up, girl.
got out of the car, vomited on the sidewalk, came back in, and then tried to drive back home.
Continue on with your day.
You just continue, you gotta keep going, right?
Yeah.
And swollen feet.
Oh, those are
The back pain.
Yeah.
The stretch marks. They were so itchy. Mine were so itchy.
Oh, mine too.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm just gonna say this, and I don't know if you experience this. Maybe somebody else experienced this. I had a smell
Really?
that developed in, like, my body created when I was
Okay.
pregnant.
I don't know if I had that.
It was the worst BO I have ever smelled in my life.
Well, I saw you when you were pregnant. I didn't smell it off you.
Girl, it was God knows what kind of deodorant I used, because I had to find something else. Because this Secret and Dove, none of that was working.
You need like extra strength Old Spice. Axe-Men.
It was so bad that
That's
body
wild.
shower after body shower after body shower to get rid
But
of
do you
it.
think maybe it was that, or maybe it was just the fact that our senses are heightened?
Oh, totally. It could have been that too.
Yeah.
It could have been that too. I don't know. But yeah, the smells were like crazy. And then, so it's like after, also the heartburn.
Oh, I hate the heartburn so much.
Are
I
we
hate
gonna-
the heartburn so much. Oh,
Are we going to talk about how Tums was our best friend?
girl,
I was popping those pills.
like Tic Tacs, girl. Literally. They went everywhere. They went everywhere with me.
I used to have a little Ziploc bag in my desk at work.
You had a Ziploc. I had the whole package.
Nope.
I had the whole package of Tums. Like eating candy. It was like candy caramel.
I couldn't, like, I would drink water and get heartburn.
Oh my God, girl.
What? Why? What is that?
So brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah, and then my mom's like, "Doodh pee lo." I was like, "Doodh just ew!" It would make me feel so much
Yeah,
worse.
yeah, yeah.
None of that helps. None of that
not the
helps.
vibe, yeah.
Oh my goodness. And then I had, but my hair was beautiful.
Oh, mine too.
Oof, my hair grew
Thin hair
out.
girlies, y'all know what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, now we're all balding.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm hiding them well, but I've got my bald spots.
The grays. Everything just comes out.
I know everybody can see my grays. I'm just gonna call myself out,
It
okay?
gives you character, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it. I've been through a lot. These are my actual war wounds right here.
So do
But,
you feel like after you had your kids, how was the bounce back journey for you?
it sucked.
Yeah, girl.
So I couldn't bounce back after my first pregnancy.
Yeah.
And then I got pregnant again. And then I gained even more weight, and it was COVID. So I was just kind of like sitting around at
yeah.
home, teaching from home. I was doing all these things from home.
Yeah.
I gained a significant amount of weight, and I was the biggest I had ever been in my life.
Yeah.
And then I gave birth, and then it added into my postpartum journey
Yeah.
where I was extremely depressed about how I looked.
Oh, I know.
And then I did something about it. And then I went on like a really clean, and I didn't starve myself,
Yeah.
but I went on an extremely clean postpartum diet.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it really helped with my healing.
Yeah.
So if those of you are in the same boat right now, if you really do eat clean and
Yeah.
you really watch what you're eating, and you kind of have all the soups and the broths and all of that stuff, not only does it make you feel better and energized,
Yeah.
but it will help with weight loss.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I got like the green light from my family doctor, I started just going out on walks. I started with my SAD.
Yeah.
I started going on my walks.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely, because I had to build my stamina. I hadn't done it for a number of years, and obviously giving birth like knocks the wind out of you.
It really does.
And then I really like got into it, and I went back into my running routine, and I lost the weight, and then I got pregnant again. All right.
It's like, okay, let's do it
So-
all over again.
So I was like, all right, Arun, you're just meant to just be pregnant and big
Yeah.
for this phase of it was the season of my life, right?
Yeah.
And then I got pregnant again, and when I gave birth after that, I just followed the same
Like
kind of
routine.
healthier
Yeah, yeah,
routine
yeah.
that I did for my second one, and
Yeah.
that really helped me.
Yeah.
kind of come back to where I am today.
Okay, but good for you.
Thank you.
Because I think the bounce back is so hard. And I think for me, when I was even considering like, okay, maybe I should have a kid now, I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to get so fat and like, I can't do this. And like, I don't want to. And I talked about this in the last episode too, where like my sisters and I, we've always been like slimmer and like, you know, we would eat total trash and we would gain no weight. Like, girl, we would eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. And we had like the skinny gene, like the skinny family gene. And when it left, it left. It was like, I'm not coming back. And then it was like, you know what you're saying, that like you gain weight in places that you're like, I didn't even know I could gain weight here. Same girl. Okay, with Emma, I was almost 200 pounds, girl. 200 pounds. I can't even think back to that.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling so like nasty. And I also remember going to the store and just being like, I can't fit into anything. Like I couldn't find like bras that fit me. I couldn't find like shirts that fit. So I would literally buy like men's shirts, like Adidas shirts.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the vibe. I mean, thank God at that time Adidas was super trendy.
Ooh.
And so I was like, okay, this is working. You know, we're working it out here. But even after I had kids, or even after I had Emma, I was like exactly what you said, so depressed. I was just like, I'm never gonna get back to what I want to be. And it's almost like you internally give up.
Yes.
And you're just like, I just have to accept this new normal.
Yep.
But it's so hard to accept because other people, the things they say to you is just like, they expect you to bounce back like this. And
Yeah.
it's so impossible. You just can't, right? Because the mental toll of having a baby for the first time, going through all of that, and then also trying to find yourself in those moments is so difficult. And so just like you, eventually I kind of got to a point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. I need to just bounce back and I need to get back into working out. And then I started off by doing like very short, like 30-minute workouts at home. And then gradually I just kind of built it up. And then, yeah, girl, like a little while later during COVID, got preggo again. And that time, exactly like what you're saying, it was like the weight was just 10 times harder to come off. And then I remember looking back at my pictures from when, after I had Emma, and saying, oh my God, like I was so like slim and like I was doing so well. And then at that time I had been like, oh, I need to lose more weight. I need to lose more weight. But you know, like hindsight is 2020 then, right? And then you're like, I tried so hard, but we're so hard on ourselves.
We
so hard
are.
on ourselves. Anyway, so after Asher, it was the same thing. I was really struggling. I remember I finally got back into a fitness routine, and then I was like, oh, okay, I lost 10 pounds. So I'm going to go get myself a pair of jeans. Okay, girl. I walked into Levi's and like y'all know those jeans are made of cardboard, okay? that thing is so stiff. You're like, how the hell? Unless you're a size 0, okay? Don't even start with me, okay? Any of us like wide hip girlies, okay? Y'all ain't fitting into Levi's unless it's a size 12, okay? And I was like, I will not buy the size 12. I will not buy it, okay? So I walked in there, even though I had lost the 10 pounds, I walked out of there so depressed, girl.
Oh.
So depressed. And I was like, I'm so hideous. Like the horrible self-critic, like the inner self-critic is so ruthless. And sometimes it's not even the toxic aunties, it's yourself.
Facts.
It's yourself. And then it was just like, I need to find a better method to be healthy instead of just starving myself. And that's the point where like I really shifted.
Okay.
And then I was just like, I'm going to put 100% into this. I'm going to educate myself about the right ways of losing it. And after I did that, I feel like it got better. But girl, the things you hear, you know, like, and it's sometimes it's sad too, because I think people mean it from a positive way. Like if they look at me now, they're like, wow, like in Urdu, they'll say like, tumne to bahut weight lose kiya hai, right? Or like, oh, tum to itni patli ho, kya karti ho tum? Or what that means is like, oh, you've lost a lot of weight. Or like, wow, what do you do? Like, you're so skinny, what do you do? And as much as it's a compliment, it's almost a diss too, because it's like, shit, was I that big before?
No.
Like, what are you trying to say to me, man? Like,
You know what the worst thing that I hear is when people are like, okay, don't lose any more.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because you're gonna start to look sick.
Yeah, but then I also think of this, okay? There are girls out there that genuinely have like issues. Like they have PCOS, okay? That's a big thing, okay? I have PCOS. losing weight with something like that is so difficult. And like these aunties, they probably it's sad because maybe they even know somebody that has it, but then they still pass judgments. Like, how do you know the struggles that someone's going through? You think she doesn't see herself?
Exactly.
You know, you think she wants to like not fit into the clothes she wants to fit into. Like for some people, it's really hard. It's not just the fact of change your diet and everything will get better. It's so much bigger than that, you know? It's the postpartum mental toll that things take. It's so many other issues that you face as a woman that sometimes you can't even get into the mindset of losing weight. Like, yeah, it's great that it was easy for us, but for a lot of people, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
So for people to say things like that, like there needs to be a filter.
Yeah.
You know, it's not okay. There needs to be a filter.
Yeah.
Like, y'all need to talk to your mamas and tell them that these questions are not okay.
Yeah.
To yourself.
Yeah.
You know? It's
And
wild.
I always, I have a core memory.
Yeah.
When I gave birth to my first. I'm sitting on the couch. He's crying his head off. I'm trying to breastfeed him, and I'm irritated, and I'm hungry. And by the way, let's all talk about how hungry you get while you're breastfeeding.
Girl. You're like an elephant. Like, just keep feeding me. Give me more. Give me more.
I just want to eat and drink water
Yeah,
and eat,
totally.
like drown me in a fish tank
Yes.
and give me all the grilled cheese.
100%, girl.
And I remember sitting there and I was so tired and frustrated and angry. And he finally went down.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like maybe I'll, you know, because my mother-in-law makes really good like broth and stuff. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll warm that and I'll have it. And I was like, no. I don't want that. I've just been through so much right now for the past 2 hours. And I just ordered a big box of pizza.
Good for you.
And I sat there and I ate it. And I didn't. And afterwards, you feel guilty.
So much guilt. I know.
But I get it. It's like an ongoing struggle. And I feel like it took me so long to get out of it. Yes, I'm in a
Yeah.
great place now, but mind you, I was not in a good place before.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm telling you, if you try and go back in my camera roll, I have no pictures of myself.
Totally.
I felt so defeated. I put all of my energy into dressing up my kids, but I never dressed up myself.
That struck a chord, girl, because that's so true. That's so true.
Because I just wasn't happy with the way that I looked. And I was like, I'm never going to look like this. And I'm just going to be this big mom with cute kids.
I know. And it's also like, you know, your identity shifts then. And
Yeah.
it's like, I can't be like the stylish, trendy,
Yep.
you know, the hot mom per se.
Yeah.
Because now I just have to be like how, you know, maybe our moms were back in the day where it's like they just stopped caring, you know? And you know, sometimes I look back at my mom and I was like, oh my God, mom, you used to wear these like beautiful fitted saris and like you looked so good. And she's just like, no, like I can't do that. And I'm just like, why? Like, why can't you do that?
Yeah.
You know? And they're so hard on themselves and they're so hard when they judge themselves. And now it's trickled into us because we are like we are our own worst critic. Truly, like we really are. And so I think like overall, if anything, to the people that are planning to have kids or the moms that are like postpartum right now, I feel like it's so important to really try your best not to hear the noise. I know it's impossible, but like you will get there. And like a size 2 does not mean you're beautiful. Like it really doesn't. I know it's like, this is the biggest cliche statement because everybody says these things, but like we really have to break that cycle. It's too difficult already being a mom and going through that. And then also feeling like I am not beautiful enough because I don't fit into the size that I feel like I should fit into. It's just a hard journey. But that being said, I also have to say that it's important to be healthy too.
Of course.
Yeah, because you want you to live a long life. You want to be there for your children. You want to also not get sick. So I think it kind of goes hand in hand, but yeah, just, you know, it's easy to say try not to be hard on yourself, but let's be real, we are very hard on ourselves.
We are very hard on ourselves.
We're very hard on ourselves.
I think the important message from this episode should be we are all human.
Yeah,
We are all subject to criticism,
totally.
whether it's internal or external.
Yeah.
I think everybody should just take a deep breath. If you are a mom, we get it. We
Yeah.
understand the struggle.
Totally.
We know that weight is a huge thing that we're trying to get around, and we're trying to live in a society where it's accepted.
Yeah.
But we are also desi. And
Yeah.
in the desi community right now, it's not really accepted.
Yeah.
And they still expect you to be the Kim Kardashian who bounces back the next day after giving birth.
Yeah.
We get that.
Yeah.
But just take care of yourself. Take care of your mental health.
Yeah.
Because your postpartum journey is long. I would say we're still in it.
Girl, I'm still, there are times when I'm like, if I just think back, it gives me anxiety because I feel like I've carried that trauma with me.
Yep.
And that's why it's like scary for me to even consider the thought of like, even, you know, if somebody ever said, well, yeah, you know what, you should try for another kid. Inside, I'm like, I don't think I could ever even fathom it because it's scary. It freaks me out. Yeah.
Yeah. And that, I'm just gonna say this to everyone, your bodies are beautiful.
Yes. Okay. Love yourself.
Honestly, we are actual superheroes.
Yeah, we are. We are.
We created a human being inside of our belly,
Yeah.
and then we ejected it out into the world.
Like,
So,
but I also to that have to say that, you know what? You're allowed to feel like your experience has been shitty, okay?
Of course.
You are allowed to like not be grateful one day, because this whole concept like be grateful, be grateful, be grateful. It's like we're trying, okay? But sometimes like you just can't. And it's
Yeah.
okay to say that like, no, I feel shitty today and
Yeah.
I don't feel good about myself, and I am allowed to say that.
Yeah.
So just accept it for what it is. Stop trying to force us to be grateful for everything. Internally, we already beat ourselves up. So it is what
It is what it
it is.
is.
What it is, guys. It is what it is.
you get both perspectives. You get the auntie perspective who's like, you are beautiful and
Yeah.
I love you for who you are. And then you get the auntie perspective who's like,
My perspective. My perspective is not the auntie perspective. My perspective is that we are this generation. If you need to complain, complain away, girl. Complain away, okay? And yes, you are beautiful. But on the days that you don't feel beautiful, it's okay to feel that too. You know, like you don't always have to be super like, but I have to be grateful. But I have to be grateful. This is good, and I have to love it. I have to love it. No, you don't.
so know that you are allowed to feel shitty.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not, there are going to be lots of things that I share on this podcast that maybe are going to take some people by surprise,
Yeah.
because a lot of people have commented on my postpartum journey, saying that I make it look easy. Again, I'm putting this in
I'm not
air
gonna lie, I
quotes.
used to think that about you too. Sorry.
There you go.
No, every time I met her, she was always like very bubbly. And so I was just like, how do you do it? Because I'm always depressed. Like, I'm like, why? Why is it so hard?
I feel like I get really bubbly because I know that I'm going out
That makes sense.
and I'm having a social life and I just have to enjoy every single second of
That
it.
though, I love that. It's a good thing. It's a good
Yeah.
thing to be.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to be.
But you guys, share your weight loss journeys, tips.
Or even if you're struggling, share your struggles, because believe me when I say you're not the only one. It's a very long process. It takes a lot of momentum to even pick yourself up and go for a walk. You know, so like we feel you, we get you, we feel you. Send us your stories, and also please subscribe to our channel.
Please.
Let us know your thoughts about this episode, and we will see you next time.
Yeah. Bye, guys.